Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Founders Grid, sponsored by Gaper.io. Today we have Chris. Chris is a Senior Director for Human Resource at VMware. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, can you give us a brief background about yourself, what you've been up to?
Yeah. So I've been in the HR kind of world of leadership and culture, coaching, general kind of HR work for the past 15 years. I started in the nonprofit world, focused on mentoring, and that led me to the corporate world. I cut my teeth at Dell and was then at Disney for a few years. Went to Apple, was there at the spaceship campus in Cupertino, and I worked with the R&D teams that work on iPad, iPhone, AirPods, and have since moved to VMware, so all in Silicon Valley. And as I said, I really, my passion and my focus is always on culture, leadership, and in particular, how we shape the future together.
Got it. Thank you so much for that. So, last 15 months just been interesting for the whole world, So, hopefully everything is behind us now. So, in regards to, let's go back last March, April, May, June, July, the first 4 to 5 months when everyone just wanted to be near their comfort zone, their loved ones, and everyone was scared, what's going to happen, whether they're going to have the job or not, and that's when companies were kind of like moving the teams to work from home, policies coming up. And
Mhm.
do you want to share some insights on that? What the first 4 months were like?
Yeah, it changed, right? I mean, you look back, this past year, it's if it's taught us anything, change is it's not just part of life. It got very real, right? So I think wherever people are, they've experienced some measure of change in a greater degree than ever before, right? And fast-paced change. So our CEO, Pat Gelsinger, before he moved on to lead Intel, that's where he is now. He was, one of the things he said was, as we move, fast into the future, we've basically seen, essentially a decade of, you could say, progress or change in a year, right? So 2020, and then now, it continues to be this pace of change. On the one hand, a lot of innovation and technical advancing that we've seen before, but at a higher rate. And at the same time, what that means for the workforce and for people, how they do work has continued to evolve and change. So I think the themes that we've seen emerge from that are, there's an interest in people to be connected in their work and collaborate and co-create, maybe I think in different ways than before. Zoom has kind of leveled the landscape or playing field, so everybody's kind of in the same boat, which in some ways is a good thing, right? It's connected us a little differently than before. So I think there's some positives about that, and we're living kind of in the future in a sense.
Makes sense. So, Zoom, Zoom fatigue, mental health, those are the conversations everyone started having around July, August 2020, right? So then companies tried to come up with policies. Okay, especially the companies facing challenges based out of San Francisco or New York, where spaces are limited, apartments are small, you know. So that's when everyone started coming up with different strategies. Okay, Wednesday no meeting day or things like those. So did you kind of like face those challenges, and you want to share some examples?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's real, right? And I think at first, when we first got into this, and many of us, I mean, myself, for example, a lot of the people I work with in the Valley here, right, in Silicon Valley, we had big commutes, right? So it used to be, I'm in the South Bay, so I would drive to Palo Alto every day. This is an hour and a half, depending on traffic, each way. So I have that time back, which is great for me personally and for my family. I get to spend more time with my kids, but on the other hand, there's meetings started to fill those spaces, right? And as you said, yeah, there was like a sense of kind of Zoom fatigue and Zoom creep, right? That would happen over time. We didn't, and I don't think we realized how tired people could get, right, with Zoom. And it's a different experience, right? It's not the same as in person. And you're kind of looking at the camera, and it's it's just a hard it over time. Yeah, people it can wear them down. So we've done no meeting days. We've done also, there's just an open culture about, hey, if you're just on audio, that's fine. So if it's just, hey, I need a break from being on video, that's fine. There's no pressure to do that. So I think that helps. And then also another thing that's helped is our chief people officer. We've worked with her on this, is just giving people the space and time, right? So if they need to do things at home, they can block their schedule, right? And that's a meeting for them. That they have time with their kids or whatever they need to do. If it's go to the doctor, just mental health time, they have that space. Most people, and sometimes, companies are reticent about this. They're reluctant to do that. But the reality is, most employees or people are harder on themselves, right? They're trying to, meet these, self-imposed, deadlines, at least the high achievers that we tend to hire, right, in these companies. So, giving them the space, it's a really good thing for everyone. It's a win-win-win, because then they can feel at ease while they're already so focused on doing the work, but also have the balance that they need, with their family and personally.
Got it. So then, September, October, November onwards, the new hiring season, and building culture over Zoom, building culture remotely. Every company has a different culture. So this is the challenge I noticed many HR personnel face. And it kind of, any key takeaways, learnings, any examples you want to share on that?
Yeah, it's really interesting you say that, Mustafa, because I'd say, and this is a net positive for me. I see it as a net positive. Is prior to the pandemic, I think and largely, if you talk to leaders, they understood culture at the time, but I think there's a deeper sense of an awareness of how important culture is now that we're in different places and connecting through technology. These existential questions, right, about what is culture and how do we preserve what matters in culture, have led to, I would say, some opportunities, right, around shaping culture, right, intentionally designing culture. And if it's by default, it's very easy for a company that's online completely and just using Zoom to lose not just culture, but in a sense their identity. So with that in mind, again, design, focusing on and shaping culture by design in a brave way, considering how we connect, how we collaborate together. This is